Okay, we're back today taking a look at one of my favorite decks of all time. This is Lightpaw's Bogles. This is a deck that really just needs to put one creature onto the battlefield, hopefully give it some sort of evasion if it doesn't come with it by default, and then just attack your opponent down with it holding an absolute metric stack, which is not a measurement, but whatever, of auras on it. So in this deck, we play Lightpaws, the namesake, definitely one of the best cards in this deck from Kamigawa. Lightpaw's Emperor's Voice basically says that when you ETB an aura, that does not need to be attached to Lightpaws necessarily, but triggers both on it and any of your other creatures, you get to search for another aura with a different name and attach it to Lightpaws. So Lightpaws can only have unique auras attached to it, unless you cast a duplicate of one of them. But you can search for like another copy of something. So in this deck, we play a bunch of 4 of auras and a bunch of not 4 auras. These are going to be things like All That Glitters, Ethereal Armor. You've seen these before. But they're also going to include some new cards from Duskmourn. In this set, we get one of the most pushed auras of all time that I'm aware of, Sheltered by Ghosts. This is a 2-mana aura in white. On ETB, it basically exiles something. Non-land permanent. It does not care about non-token, does not care about non-creature. It's just non-land permanent. Absolutely great. It is only until this leaves the battlefield, but if we can give the creature that it's attached on Ward 2, like it does with the +1/+0 lifelink and Ward 2, this is only a 2-mana card. This is like actually crazy. 3 keywords essentially for 2 mana, in addition to doing a 2 to 3 mana effect of exiling something. Like this is a nuts pushed card for Bogles. There's a reason why in the Pauper, Pioneer, some of those other smaller Eternal format things, this is a very, very good card. But here in Timeless, it's going to do just well. It's going to do more than just well. It's going to do really, really well. In addition to this, we have Rune of Sustenance in the 2 slot. This is the original way that we would give something lifelink, but this thing also gives us a card, which is nice. So if we play Sheltered by Ghosts and we need a card, Rune of Sustenance gets us there. And speaking of card draw, it's worth talking about the creatures in this deck, specifically SRAM, who on the cast of an aura draws you a card. Very, very good guy to have on the battlefield. He can also hold all these auras. I'll continue with the creatures for a little bit. Optimistic Scavenger here, another new card from Duskmourn. On enchantment ETBs, which all auras are, you get to put a 1/1 counter on target creature. It does not need to be the Scavenger itself. So you can target some creature that is not the Scavenger, and if your opponent removes it, well, you still have the Scavenger ability around as well. And then finally, Skrelv. Skrelv can't be blocked, but we can give things hexproof, which essentially also means that this is going to function as a Mother of Runes, Guide of Runes, or whatever the card is. Effectively giving something hexproof is going to be really nice when we really only have like 2 to 3 creatures on the board. If one of them dies carrying all the auras, we essentially have nothing. So pretty good one to have. And then finally, all the 1-drop things. We have 2 1-ups, Sentinel's Eyes. This one's here for Vigilance and for something that we can cast out of the graveyard and re-trigger our enchantment/aura carrying permanents. And then Griff's Boon, flying, is going to help our big Lightpaws or big whatever get over and attack our opponent. This thing also can come back from the graveyard to the battlefield, so it's a good mana sink in the end game. And then finally, we have a lot of good cards out of the sideboard, not out of the sideboard, out of the 1-drop slot that we're playing 4 or 2 ofs. Ethereal Armor, +1/+1 for each enchantment, and First Strike, absolutely great. 1-mana copy of All That Glitters. You guys have seen it before, I'm sure, if you've played this archetype. Another new card is Shard Mage's Rescue from Duskmourn. This is a flash enchantment, but we're never going to use it like that. Give something hexproof, which is great. This is basically going to be our evasion giver in this deck, other than Sheltered by Ghost. And that's because Shard Mage's Rescue and basically the hexproof in general is extremely important because our creatures don't have any evasion on them. None have flying, none have ward, none have hexproof. If you play blue, that's typically just blue. Those will have the not able to be blocked line of texts. They'll have flying. They'll have can't be blocked, all that stuff. Ward. So yeah, those are things that are important to have on your creatures, and we don't have them here in white. Shard Mage's Rescue will be an instant speed effect that helps us get there. Plus, it's also a 1/1. We can cast it to find an ethereal armor, which is good. So, you know, all that stuff's important. And then, of course, we have Kaya's Ghost Form, another really, really good card here. This just means that whenever a thing dies, it comes back, and we can make use of its triggers again. Then Audacity here, this is another one that allows us to find a card. It also gives Trample and +2/+0, which are very, very relevant. You know, you'll notice that the theme with all these cards is either they give us our card back, either they do a lot of effects on the board, or they draw us cards, or they give permanent types. No, sorry, not permanent types. They give keyword abilities that help our things get through, whether it's flying, trample, can't be blocked, vigilance, whatever. I think I've rambled long enough here. You'll notice that the mana base has pretty much just white producing sources, except for the pathways, which we get to choose if we want to have them white or the accent color that we need, and then Mana Confluence helps us with any of our splashes. With that being said, like I said, I think I've talked too much on this. It's just Bogles. We need to play creatures, suit them up, and attack. Let's go do that. This episode of Full Control MTG is brought to you by Patreon and your viewership. If you want to support the channel financially, the Full Control MTG Patreon is the best place to do so. With the Shockland tier, you get access to videos as soon as they are recorded and edited. Don't wait to get your hands on another Full Control MTG deck list. Otherwise, it's your support for the channel that keeps me going. Thanks for being here and enjoy the video. Here we go. Two creatures in the opener and one land. If we can find another land, it's not the end of the world. However, we can't both play Skrelv and Audacity. We need that card draw. We'll mulligan. 2 lands feels good. Doesn't produce green, so this Audacity goes back. Here's an Optimistic Scavenger. Next one is SRAM. Next one is Optimistic Scavenger and or All That Glitters. Ethereal Armor, also pretty solid. So I could go Optimistic Scavenger into Ethereal Armor, but I'm going to be a little greedy here and go for some card draw. Double green. Elvish Clan Caller, it is elves. Griff's Boon, we can give something flying. Let's go for the Ethereal Armor and see if we can draw a land. We'll just give one of the Optimistic Scavengers it. Nice, found that Mana Confluence. You'd love to see it. Trigger and trigger. Mana Confluence, Griff's Boon. Let's give this guy flying. Get to draw another card, another land. It's huge. And then let's go 1. Let's go 2. All right. Big block's going to need to come out of them. They do not have it. We will take round 1. Next turn, we would have dropped that All That Glitters, put everything on that flying guy. That would have been 1, 2, 3. So it would have been a 7-6. Pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean, these games go fast. Bogles is a quick deck. Here's round 2. Here we are, round 2. We have a SRAM. We have a Kaya's Ghost Form. That's pretty good. It's a little bit tough on the colors of land, though. I'm going to mulligan this one. We don't have a good turn 1 play. This one costs a lot of life, though. We'll keep 6. We'll get rid of the Shard Mage's Rescue. We have 2 creatures. It's okay if 1 dies. Alright. Lots of damage coming in, but hopefully we can kill our opponent before they can kill us. Overgrown Tomb. Will they just kill this? They're going to Inquisition me. What'll it be? They'll leave me with the Optimistic Scavenger. I'm happy to see that. Alright, and let's just pile up on one of these guys. Alright, so they're going to really need to destroy that somehow. And when they do, I get to draw a card. And yeah, I guess we just take round 2 just like that. That's kind of wild. You know, these decks are fast. And somehow they're getting match made into decks that are not playing a lot of red. We do find mono black mirrors, but it is not that common. I'm going to re-queue into round 2 here. That was kind of a fast one. Though they are all fast games, this one was extremely fast. Depending on if the queue goes too much longer, maybe we will just cut it and go to round 3. I'll give it about 25 seconds. And okay, I guess I will see you in round 3. All right, that queue took a really long time. Here comes the next round though. No creatures, we mulligan. And now we finally have the namesake of the deck. Here's Light Paws. So we want to run Light Paws into an All That Glitters. Could also go SRAM, maybe try to draw some cards. If I don't find a third land, I'll do the SRAM, otherwise I go for the Light Paws. The Skrelv is not bad. Do I need green very badly? I think I need more white. Go SRAM. Now that we have a potential 1-drop to play off of a card draw. Alright, a lot of All That Glitters. Let's attempt to play one. We get a draw even if they counter this. And it looks like we're playing counter spells. The SRAM seems like it was a good move. Alright, I really don't mind that. Would have loved to land there, didn't get it. It is what it is. We try the same thing next turn. Optimistic Scavenger, that'll be a good 1-mana play. We get another draw trigger here, and I think we get countered one more time. Sure. And there's my Ganju. Love to see it. We'll go Optimistic Scavenger here. Really punish them for giving me permanence. Alright. And what do you do off your mana drain mana? Wavebreak Hippocamp. Sure. So I can go Scavenger first into All That Glitters, but it just matters that something enters. So I think I go Skrelv. Yeah, we'll test with Skrelv first, see if they'd like to counter this. They might not like this Hexproof. They will counterspell it. Nice. So that means I'm going to get my All That Glitters. That's good. Or should I get my Light Paws? Light Paws actually would be better. Yeah, I think we go Light Paws here. That was kind of a necessary one for my All That Glitters. They've been having counter magic, but at the same time, if I can resolve in All That Glitters, that really makes sure that I win this game. We're pretty creature heavy this time, which is awkward, but fine. So Sheltered by Ghosts, pretty good. We'll have to attempt a draw here. We'll target the Scavenger. See if we can get a land. They will untap. Okay. Fine. Shardmage's Rescue will be a good one to do on their turn. Okay. I guess we don't attack here. We'll just save up. So I guess they play everything at instant speed. Alright, Shardmage's Rescue. Target the Optimistic Scavenger. Get another draw here. See if we can bait out a counter spell. Dismiss and draw a card. Cool. So they're tapped out here. This Sheltered by Ghosts goes hard now. And so does this Ethereal Armor. So here we go. Sheltered by Ghosts. Put it on Optimistic Scavenger. Get to draw a card. Oh, and we have another one. Let's go. So we eat that. This has Ward. Let's start to make it bigger. We need to make sure that it can be bigger than another Wavebreak. We'll take action finding something onto our Light Paws. We also have an Ethereal Armor coming, so I want to make sure that I get All That Glitters here. Let's put a 1/1 on our SRAM. Just make sure that we're totally spread out here. And finally, Sheltered by Ghosts will resolve. Let's then go Ethereal Armor on SRAM. Another Light Pause, that's good. And we can probably just attempt a kill here. Light Pause gets bigger, and then finally, if we go Light Pause, we will find, I guess Kai's Ghost Form will work here. That will bring us over the edge. And we'll take the next round. Sweet. That really just shows you that we just need to bang our head against the wall until we have enough permanents on the battlefield. Opponent on that Counterspell Tribal would have really worked if we were if we were a control deck, but unfortunately for them, we are aggro. Good round. Here comes the next. All right, let's go. This is going to be our round 4. We got some creatures. We got some enchantments. I think I'll try it. So we start with Skrelv into Audacity Optimistic Scavenger. In the opposite order, of course. Maybe Thoughtseize here. It will be Grief. Will it be Grief Scam? I think we can race this. But this is a good matchup for them. Yeah, and probably Reanimate here, taking my Skrelv. Nice. Well, this just got bad. Here's a Pathway. And there is a pass on turn 1. Not what we want to do. We need to find a 2-mana creature here. But if they have Fatal Push, it's going to be real bad for us. We are not making their Grief bigger. I would definitely decline that. We might just die in 3-point chunks here. I guess Audacity would be pretty bad to put on their thing. Fortunately, Kaya's Ghost Form doesn't work like I want it to. So here's a Skrelv. I think I'm going to Skrelv, put a Kaya's Ghost Form on it. I think they have Fatal Push, though, so, you know, it is what it is. Bowmaster's same. Alright. And no effect there. Yeah, I think this is going to be definitely one of those rounds that goes to show that not everything that you see in the highlight reel is how things go. We're going to end this one with 6 enchantments in hand. So sad. I guess I could have made one of their creatures big, but you know, it is what it is. We will go to exactly 0. So that is turn 3 or 4. Pretty much doing exactly nothing. Good illustration of the lows of this deck as well. We have one final round to make the top end visible, so let's go do that. Okay, last round. How can we end this one? Well, you know, this is another good start. They do have a Lurrus, which kind of makes me a little bit worried, but I do get to go first, so this is maybe all right. Breakline Pathway. Into maybe Sheltered by Ghosts if they just play a thing onto the battlefield. That feels good. Here's Sheltered by Ghosts. Target my thing. Target their thing. Put a counter on my thing. Looks good. Get to attack for 3. So that's the huge upside that we're looking for in this deck. Give it Vigilance next turn and possibly the ability to card draw for me. Okay, we won't get the card draw, but the Vigilance will be nice. And I guess we just rock Ethereal Armor here. Doesn't really need Hexproof right now. Let's get big. Let's get gnarly. So probably got to chump block here. It's a 2-turn clock. And they'll take it. We are now no longer worried about our life total. Alright, Static Prison here does deal with my Optimistic Scavenger. I am really worried that that's what they have. Nice, just in Johnny, okay. And now we just need to find Trample. The Skrelv will also work pretty well. Yeah, so we just go Skrelv here. We have to avoid the Johnny flip because that's awkward. And Shard Mage's Rescue can keep our Skrelv alive, which they'll probably try to kill this next turn. Galvanic Discharge. Well, let's do this. Let's make our Skrelv bigger and hopefully it can survive. It can now survive a shock. Another Galvanic Discharge will be problematic though. Alright, they have Bolt. It's all good. I mean, all we need is green mana, right? So, it's something. The Ajani thing now is a problem for me as well. Here's SRAM. SRAM dies to Goblin Bombardment though. I mean, maybe I just life gain my way out of this. Just force them. Like, we don't need to care about the Ajani so much. But I think, well, okay, so they can just Goblin Bombardment anyway. Yeah, I may as well attack. It doesn't matter because they block and then they just sack with Goblin Bombardment. None of this really matters. But as I force them to lose some cards, we do start to get to a point where SRAM might be able to survive on the board. And then, of course, with Audacity, if we can just have a turn where that's online, it's fine. All we need is a green producing land. Alright, a measly 2 to the face. Bolt, Galvanic Discharge, can't hurt us here. Light Pause, that'll die. We might as well start working on things with SRAM. And once again, we just go to the face. Makes sense. This eventually is going to kill us. It's a good thing that we got our life gain in while we could. Luris, kind of annoying, but we have not seen Static Prison yet, so not the end of the world. Oh, but that Plains is scary. Okay, just an Ocelot Pride. While that is bad, it's not great. They have Ascend now. Yikes. We really do need to find this Audacity here. Well, at least they hadn't gained life that turn. Either one of these dies, so I'll just play the Skrelv. And we don't need to bother with the Optimistic Scavenger attack at this point. We'll sack the Rag, sure. And now here's where they start making a lot of tokens, and I actually get a little bit worried. Could have dashed the Ragavan. Seemed as though they didn't want to. Another Bombardment. I don't care about that. Ethereal Armor. Why not? Just make our thing even bigger. I'm going to play the Light Pause because every time they zero on... Well, actually the zero happens regardless. Yeah, I guess I'll just wait for another land. Deal some damage, sure. At some point I start to worry. Not yet, but close. Guide of Souls is scary. That really shortens the clock here. I mean, we have more or less the ability to win the game. It's just a question of, can we find our land? The answer continues to be no. I'll eventually need to play Ethereal Armor as well. That will go to face. They have not decided to kill my SRAM yet. If they mistakenly allow me to have this, that could be good for me. Rag. Yep. Alright, we're getting pretty much dead here. Puts us to 12. Goblin Bombardment finishes us off. Well, dang. That was a tough round here. Pretty much had it in the bag with Audacity, just did not have the colors to make it work. Well, that's what happens if you can put enough creatures in front of one of these guys and it doesn't have the evasion. well, this deck doesn't really quite work. But honestly, that's really par for the course. Like, with aggro decks, you either get there or you don't. In this case, we didn't. But that being said, that brings us to the end of round 5. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Super fun archetype to play. Definitely would recommend getting the deck list at the Mox Field, link in the description, and giving it a go for yourself. As for the YouTube video, please do like and comment on it. That helps me a lot. Subscribe if you're new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'll see you guys in the next one.